order of business is to approve last month's committee meeting minutes. Motion made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Stroh. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you. Item 1 is a request for the transfer of funds. Those are in your packet under item 1. Got a bunch of them. Need a motion to approve these? Made by Supervisor McDevitt, seconded by Supervisor Garrity. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Item 2, our esteemed County Treasurer Mike Swan.
Thank you. Good morning, everybody. Item A is a request to extend our current contract with Capital Markets Advisors. This is our fiscal advisor. The current contract we have with them expires on December 31st of this year, and we are right now, as I told you at the board meeting, in the process of trying to refinance the bonds for the Human Services building across the street. Those bonds are not callable until December 15th, so there really isn't enough time using our current advisor to get this done by December 31st. So what I'm asking is to extend the contract with them up until the point we can complete the refinance, because it would create a major problem if we change advisors right in the middle of trying to refinance these bonds. And like I said at the board meeting, we're looking at probably $2.5 to $3 million savings in interest payments over the next 10 years.
Excellent. Motion made by Supervisor Marlino, seconded by Supervisor Beatty. Discussion? Comments? Okay, all those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried.
All right, item B is, this was brought out basically by our independent auditors and concerns the amount of fund balance that we have. And our current resolution reads $9 million to $16 million. It's a flat dollar fee that we should have on hand. They recommended that we have at least 2 months worth of fund balance on hand, which amounts to about 16.7% of our total budget, which brings that figure up to in the $22-23 million range, which is kind of where we are right now. They strongly recommended that we adopt a percentage policy rather than having a fixed dollar amount. I've discussed this with our esteemed chairman of the board, and I believe, unless he's changed his mind, agrees with me, that this is the way that we should be going.
Yes, Chairman.
Yeah, and that recommendation, that's what's referred to as a minimum.
Yeah, that's the minimum.
That's referred to as a minimum. So it's not like we're overshooting anything at all.
Yeah.
So I think it's I think we need to do this so that people have a better understanding of exactly where we are at any particular point in time. Otherwise, we can be misled with an arbitrary number, all of us, thinking that we're flush or awash or whatever. So I think it's a good recommendation by the auditor. But I just wanted to underscore the word that he referred to that 16.7 as a minimum. Is that correct, Rob?
Yes. And we're right at the minimum right now, basically,
Yeah.
what we have on hand.
Yeah. Supervisor Leggett?
What about DA fund then? You just said the general fund.
No, this is just our general fund. This does not include those type of things.
But we also have fund balance. We also have other funds.
Well, all right, well, it is the total amount of fund balance that we're talking about having on hand. I mean, the best way I can describe this is it takes a little over $10 million a month.
Move to about 18 million.
To pay the bills. So basically what we're saying is we need if we go with the 16.5%, I need access to 2 months worth of expenses, which is $22 million, $20 million in that range. So in order to make sure that we don't have a major problem, we need to have, according to the auditors, and I agree with them completely, that we need to have that amount of money.
Ryan?
I just want to clarify that.
Hold on for 1 second, Supervisor. Ryan would like to add to this.
Yeah, the other funds, to the extent that they don't cover themselves. The general fund backs them up. At the end of the year, as a matter of policy, we adjust the fund balances of the highway fund and the equipment fund down to, I think, 5%. So that's where we keep those as a matter of policy, and whatever we need from the general fund is what makes up the difference. So it really is only the general fund balance that we need as a rainy day fund.
But when you adjust the 5%, if I may, when you adjust the 5%, and let's say it was 10%, where does the other 5% go? Back into the general fund balance?
It's a cash issue, really. It's at the end of the day, it's all general fund.
But if you can't, if my understanding is right, you can move from general fund into a highway fund, but you can't take out of a highway fund back into a general. Correct.
That's because, well, we don't raise tax. We don't raise a separate tax. It's all property tax. So the highway fund and the equipment fund are up. They're in a deficit position.
Chairman?
Yeah, I just want everyone to understand, I mean, there are implications here. If the economy continues and we continue to be in a good cash position, then of course we build on where we are presently. But should that not happen, then some of the things that we do, like in January, if the sales tax is good, we like to move quite a bit of money into our road program, as an example. That could create I'm saying it will, that could create an issue. But on the other hand, if you really want to take what really is the minimum fund balance and applying it when really you shouldn't. The other thing is this, that typically what happens when the economy turns is, and the pressure comes on, is counties tend to deplete their fund balances to try to get to a better day. And what ends up happening is they, at least we did, depleted the fund balance. We went from how much?
In '05, it was around 25 million. By the end of '08, it was at $3.5 million.
$3.5 million, and then you spend the next decade trying to dig out of the hole. Now we can change this, it's our policy, but what it will do is it will generate a kind of discussion I think you need to have during those periods about depleting your fund balance.
Yeah, I'm doing this backwards. I probably should have had a motion for discussion, so if I can get that.
You did.
Did we have a motion in a second?
Motion to approve?
I don't think we did.
No, I've been trying to do that.
So who would like to make a motion then?
John did,
Supervisor
I
Stroud.
thought I seconded.
Second by Supervisor Frazier. Okay, more discussion? Supervisor Leggett.
Thank you, Chairman. So again, this is for unrestricted, but we do have our reserve accounts then. So this is important then that we continue to fund our building equipment and specific reserve accounts as we go.
Right.
Absolutely, yes. And that would buffer us from some of, when there is the economic downturn, because we have money in the reserves to carry us through.
And I like when you said when there is an economic. There will be.
Yes, Budget Officer Thomas.
I guess I'm going to be contrary. What happens after 2 months? You know, if you have an economic downturn and you're depleting your fund balance, good one. You know, so why don't we have 50 million in this fund balance? I just think that the county sitting on that kind of money, and then turning around to our taxpayers and going, hey, we need more of your money to keep everything going here. To me, that's a little bit outrageous.
Well, the revenue, the revenue streams that get impacted, just taking that scenario, that get impacted early are your sales tax, your mortgage tax. Those are the things that you take the hit on initially. Your property tax, even in recessions, we have to pay our taxes, right? So it's not that, so therefore in a recession you deplete your fund balance in 2 months. That's not the way it is. But what ends up happening is that in a recession is that because your revenue streams have declined, you're looking to offset them in your budget from the fund balance so you don't have to raise the property taxes. And, or maybe you don't need to raise them as much. So I think that that's why I said, I mean, there are implications here. That if the economy holds for a while longer, then I think this will be something in the rearview mirror. If it doesn't, then we'll be faced with asking the question, do we want to change our policy?
Supervisor Strauss?
You never want to put yourself in a situation where you have a cash flow problem, and then you got to go to bonding, and then pay an interest rate on that. You want to make sure that you always have an ample cash flow, good times and bad times. This helps to assure that.
Supervisor Molino?
Well, contrary, I mean, would it be better for us to move it up to, say, 18%?
No, I think the level that we're recommending here is kind of, and I hate to use the word industry standard, but that's kind of the norm. That's kind of what everybody recommends. The 16.7% just kind of hits on that 2-month amounts pretty well, based on what our budget is and what we need.
I think what we're saying is no less than 16.7%. That's a GFOA recommendation.
Yeah.
Okay, I think this horse has been beat up pretty good. Anybody else? Okay, we do have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
Thank you. Item C, this is a request to accept a settlement amount from one of our private pays over at Westmount from when we owned it. The amount I'm requesting that you accept as a settlement is $5,000. We will need to write off approximately $18,000. I think this is a good settlement. This is one of those situations where you really can't get, blood from a stone. This is all the family has to offer. They're borrowing the money from their retirement to come up with this $5,000. Mary, I'm sure that you're familiar with the terms of the settlement, so if anybody has any questions concerning that, they can talk to our attorney. Questions from anybody for me?
I do remember this one. This one's been around for a while, too.
Yeah, this has been around for a long time. This is one of the ones that Tom Clements, the firm, has been working on, and has finally gotten to this point. So,
okay, we need a motion if you guys want to accept this. Made by Supervisor Strauss, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried.
thank you. Budget. Does everybody have a copy if somebody doesn't have a copy of the budget, Rob's got a few extras right over there. Basically, I'm going to give the overall perspective on our budget. For the Treasurer's Office, our expenses are down just a little bit over $3,000, and our projected revenue for 2020 is up $3 million. We can go line by line through these things if you wish, or if there's anything you have any questions about, Rob and I can probably answer. As far as the sales tax projection, we're using the same figure as the actual amount for 2018, and which amounts to roughly a 5.5% increase actually over collections. And this is our recommendation. Our budget officer can, and has in the past, altered that a little bit, and I have no problem with that, but this is where I feel we should start. And what Mr. Thomas does from there, I will more than probably agree with. So that's the big number in the thing. Another place that we're collecting a lot more money is the interest on the money that we have in the bank. We've got a good deal working with Glens Falls National. That's up. Although we kind of hedged on that a little bit because of the doom and gloom that everybody's talking about with the economy, and the rates have slipped a little bit since we started into this, so we're kind of conservative on
Any questions for Michael on his budget? Yes, Chairman.
Yeah, I think your guidance and Frank's proposal, relying on 18 is the last full year of revenue.
Correct, from the sales tax.
And I think that's the only, we hope this year's going to be a good year, but we don't know. So I think 18, we have, our AUD showed what we took in, what we expended, and those are numbers that, we should use. Whether Frank raises that a little bit or lowers that a little bit, I think that should be the start.
I mean, that's my recommendation, and Frank's looking at the bigger picture than what I am right now, so.
Very good. Nice job.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, if it's okay with the committee, Terry Como's been here since the beginning of personnel. I would like to jump to number 11 and have Terry come to the podium if that's okay.
Well, thank you very much. I'll be very brief. Just a couple of things on the coroner's end. July 1st, we resumed autopsy services at Glens Falls Hospital. I'd like to accordingly institute another removal fee. Currently, we're at $500 and a $75 mileage charge for removals from scenes, homes, car accidents to Albany Med. I'd like to reword another removal fee to go to $400, take out the mileage, and that would be for $400 to Glens Falls Hospital for the removal and transportation of a deceased human being to Glens Falls. I'd like to keep the 500 and the 75 for instances when we do have to go to Albany Med. We've ordered 11 autopsies since July 1st. We've shown a savings of about $10,000 in those 11 autopsies. So thank you very much for letting us move forward with that and having autopsies here at Glens Falls. We do appreciate it. It's been a great help, and that's just the coroner fees. So I'd like to also add in $75 per day custodial fee if we run over. Glens Falls has limited room in their morgue, and if we need to use other facilities, other refrigeration facilities, we do have two on standby. One would be Kilmer Funeral Home in South Glens Falls, and one is Alexander's in Warrensburg. They both have cooler facilities, and we figured $75 per day would be compensation, and they're agreeable with that. Even if they charge us, they more than likely would just let us use their facility. I'd like to add that into to our billing if we need it. So far, we have not needed it, but I wanted to make sure it was on record or we had it available to our folks that are helping us out. The Department of Health is going to institute a DNA policy. Well, we'll have to collect DNA from deceased that are autopsied, and that would be it would be collected by Dr. Sikorica or whoever is performing the autopsy at that time, and he will be the custodian of that, and we're going to use the very minimal or very basic card, and they're about $4 a card per autopsy. I've done a little research, and I'd really just like permission to do a little more research and not spend more than, say, $500 on a set of 100 cards that would last us probably about 3 or 4 years, hopefully, just to have the DNA. There's no, with the cards I'm looking at currently for DNA, there is no there's no refrigeration required, and we could store probably 1,000 cards in a shoebox, so we won't, we'll leave them right at Glens Falls Hospital, and anything that needs to be processed will be processed through Glens Falls Hospital. They'll take that responsibility with no cost to us. We would just have to pay for the cards. I would like to move the disaster pouches from $75 to $90. Nobody is using the white minimum body bag. at all. It's just too clumsy and it rips. There's no handles, and it's really a waste of time. So everybody's been using the black, heavier duty pouches, and I'd like to move that up to the $90 and really actually get rid of the white bags themselves. And that's really all I have.
Okay, those are in your packet under 11A. Both resolutions are in there. Need a motion to accept the amended resolution. Motion made by Supervisor Strauss, seconded by Supervisor McDevitt. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Okay, B, Terry? Oh, I'm sorry, yes, my bad.
It goes along with this, and this is the budget amendment to bring in the money that we're getting back from the Department of...
Okay, I didn't know if that was in there or not.
Yeah,
yes.
it already went to the treasurer's office. We just need the budget amendment to formalize. We got back $7,234. To my understanding, that's reimbursement from the New York State Department of Corrections for removal, transport, and morgue fees for state inmates housed in Warren County.
State inmates that actually were pronounced dead in Warren County. So that's how that works. There's a little blurb on the bottom of their paperwork. The State Department of Corrections. I tried it out. It worked. So they gave us $7,000. We expect about another $7,000 here in the next month or so. A couple of months, I would say. And I can go backwards on that also, and I'm doing some research on that. I can go back. There's no time limit on this, so we can go back a few years. Try to find some others. There can't be a whole lot, but they're transported to Glens Falls Hospital. They're pronounced dead at Glens Falls Hospital. Docs pays for it.
Motion made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Beatty. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Anything else, Terry?
I'm all set. Thank you very much.
Thank you for your patience, Doc.
Thanks. Have a great weekend.
All right, let's head back to item 3, and that is referral from the county facilities under buildings and grounds. We have a request to appropriate funds in the estimated amount of $156,000 from the general fund unappropriated surplus to the human services building, $118,000, and then for countryside is $38,000. That's for the new generator. This was discussed in the facilities committee. Anybody care to move this? Supervisor Beatty, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. 4, criminal justice. Under assigned counsel, there is a request to amend the county budget in the amount of $56,262.23 to reflect the receipt of oils. This was this personnel? We talked about this? Both A and B?
I'll move A, B, C, and D.
A, B, C, and D? Okay, we do have a motion made by Supervisor Garrity, second by Supervisor Beatty. All those in favor?
Aye.
Those carried. Okay, 4 is done. 5, environmental concerns, real property is a request to authorize the purchase of Town of Chester tax map parcel 104-10-4-5 by the Town of Chester following the 2019 county tax foreclosure action. Is it auction?
There's a policy, right? They pay so much.
Yeah, it's a third of the value
Yeah.
of the taxes, whichever is lower,
Yeah.
I believe, and if I was quoting, it's $7,500, that's correct.
Is this on Pine Street, or?
Yes, this is the
Oh, okay.
old homes property that basically,
Right across the...
I think it's a percentage.
yep.
Either or.
Okay, I may move it.
Wait, hold on. So this wasn't discussed in committee.
No, it was not.
So-
The reason it's being, unfortunately Lexi's at her conference, so she asked me to kind of fill in for her on this. The reason we're doing it now is because the county is filing the petition in the county attorney's office, and we will be taking title to it. And once we take title to it, if we don't sell it to the town before the auction, then it has to go to the auction.
So what are we purchasing it for? Do we know?
We know the county is not purchasing it.
The town of Chester is buying it.
wants to purchase the property. We have a policy at the county that if any town wants to purchase a property from the foreclosure...
I'm sorry. Okay.
Then they have the option to do it. Chester would like to purchase the property. The cost is $7,500. So we basically have to approve a resolution to sell it to the town, and then the county will cut us a fee.
Yeah.
If I may speak to this, Mr. Chairman, from resolution number 632 of 2005 is the enabling resolution to do this. The town of Chester has sent to the Director of Real Property a letter of intent, and the town board approved purchase of the property at their town board meeting on Tuesday night.
Okay, so it is for 7,500.
And then that's another thing, the town board meeting wasn't in time to get this to the real property.
Okay.
Meeting, so.
Okay, I'm good with that.
I made a motion.
Motion made by Supervisor Garrity, second by Supervisor Molino. All those in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. Thank you. Health, Human, and Social Services, Employment and Training, request to amend the county budget in the amount of $98,123 to add funds to the budget to administer the 2020 DSS referral program, and that'll start 2020. Motion made by Supervisor Frazier, seconded by Supervisor Stroud. Discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. 7 is park operations and management. This is a request to appropriate funds in the amount of $11,539.09.
I'll make a motion to approve this. This went through committee.
Yeah, it's every month. Motion made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Molino. All those in favor?
Aye.
Carried. Personnel and higher education. Yep. Motion made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Beatty. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. DPW. Yeah.
I know.
Okay.
Letter A, request to amend the county budget in the amount of $1,378.46 to reflect...
This all went through committee too. I'll make a motion to get it on the floor.
A through I?
Yeah, A through I went through committee.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Garrity to get A through I on the floor, seconded by Supervisor Hyde.
Okay.
Any discussion? All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. Support Services Committee, item 10. Under County Attorney, there's a request for a transfer of funds in the amount of $38,000 from the contingent account to cover the balance of the $50,000 NYMER deductible related to the McNulty settlement.
This is a settlement that we've come to the board and gotten approval for. The deductible, as the chairman indicated, is $50,000. We found some funds elsewhere in the budget in insurance accounts that's contained in the budget transfers that were approved first thing this committee. The balance is $38,000, so the source of that would be contingency.
Okay? Well said. Motion made by Supervisor Beatty, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Carried. Under IT, there is a request to transfer the amount of $35,000 from the contingent account to cover the cost of upgrading the county website. Supervisor Strauss, seconded by Supervisor Garrity. All in favor? Opposed? Carried. We did 11. On to 12, our county administrator. Ryan.
Any questions on the journal report for this month? Okay. The second item to appropriate funds from the Westmount Legacy Reserve. This is in conjunction with a settlement that we were able to reach. Treasurer Swan went down to Albany and had a very tough negotiation, but got us $185,000. This was, if you recall, it was a private pay case where the family essentially handled the estate improperly and tried to deny us what we were owed. We had a receivable on the books for about $112,000, so this settlement represents $73,000 over that. Tom Clements, the Clements Law Firm, is entitled to, they of course are the firm that's working on these issues. They get 28% of settlement. So what we did is the $185,000, there were $3,100 that Warren County had advanced, $55,000 that the Clements Law Firm had advanced, so we subtracted that out. And from the balance of $181,843, that what we owe the Clements Law Firm is $50,916.07. So Warren County's net on that is $130,927, which again is higher than the $112 that we have on the books, so it's a win.
Very nice, thank you. We need a motion for item B then, please. Made by Supervisor McDevitt, second by Supervisor Frazier. All in favor? Opposed, carried.
The third item is amending the agreement with National Business Equipment. These are our copiers. My office, Tammy and Christy, did an analysis of the actual number of copies that we're using. The price that we pay is based on the volume, and we're not using the printers as much as they're priced at. So we were able to get that changed to save a little bit of money on this contract.
Okay, motion made by Supervisor Strauss, second by Supervisor Garrity. All those in favor? Opposed, carried.
We also had a budget transfer that was previously approved. I believe it was for $400. This is in reference to a copier that we use at Mental Health, where buying out the copier is less expensive than continuing for the remainder of the 2 years on the lease. The copier's in good shape, so we save a little bit of money, but we just needed an extra $400 so we'd be able to buy it. And that's it for me, unless there's an issue with the Chester parcel. We're good? Okay.
Thank you. Moving on to item 13 is we need action on the items approved in personnel, and those are agenda items 3A and 3B. Made by Supervisor Garrity, seconded by Supervisor Frazier. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed, carried. No pending items this month. Privilege of the floor, anyone? Yes, Supervisor Garrity.
Yes, I had a taxpayer who purchased a parcel in Orangeburg back in end of 2016. She purchased it through, I think, foreclosure, I don't know. She bought it from Williamson Finance. Anyways, this parcel is on Main Street. She's been paying the taxes. She paid all the taxes 2018 and 2019 on time, I believe, based on what she told me. She received a letter from the county attorney's office saying that 2017 was unpaid, and she went down shortly and paid them in full. And what she's asking for is, she didn't receive the tax bill on this parcel for 2017. It went to Wilmington Finance. So she never got it. She didn't know the taxes were due. Her words, not mine. And she is current on all her properties. All she's asking for is to have the penalty of $561.05 returned to her, because she does pay her taxes on time. And it seems reasonable to me, because I don't know all the details. She did talk to the treasurer's office. I talked to Mike about it. She came in to see me yesterday. She does pay her taxes on time, and this one slid through the cracks. I asked her if she had an attorney when she closed on the property, which she didn't do, and she probably should have. And they probably would have caught the overdue taxes. So I don't know what our policy is on this, but to me, I just feel this is $561, and she has paid this amount. She went right down and paid it in September.
Those were fees, that $561? Is that what you
That's
said?
late
penalties.
Late penalties.
Late penalties.
Late penalties.
For 1 year.
No, that's over 2 years.
Well, 2 years, but I mean, she's paid all her taxes, and she does pay them on time.
Did you have a question or
Well,
comment?
The county doesn't have a policy on this. This is all part of New York State real property tax law. And the law is very specific on this, and it says that the property owner is responsible for paying their property taxes regardless of whether they get a bill or any other notification. So, you know, I get probably this time of year when the letters go out from the attorney's office, 25 to 50 requests for the same thing. I didn't know about it, I didn't get the bill, somebody didn't do this, somebody didn't do that. And basically I tell them, because of real property tax law, I do not have the authority to waive those penalties of interest.
My only statement would be, this lady pays her taxes, this person pays the taxes on the building since she's owned it. She missed the year she purchased it, and I just feel with all the deals we make around here for other people that we let go, and we make a lot of deals for people, and those people sometimes don't make the payments, and that's all she's asking for. She's not asking for She's asking for the 56105.
So what are
She
you,
brought it to me,
what are you looking for?
56105.
You're looking for a motion?
I'm looking for a motion that we refund 56105.
Okay, I'll make a motion. I'll second it to help get...
Where are we taking it from? Just our general fund or contingency?
Take it from contingency.
We have a motion and we have a second made by Supervisor McDevitt
Before you,
and Merlino. Go ahead, Michael. Are you worried about precedent?
Well, that's the first thing, but that's not the first thing. The first problem is that this is an illegal motion, okay? And I'm going to tell you point blank, if this committee passes it and it goes to the county board and the county board passes it, I will ignore it.
Mary, can you address that?
I'd like to hear Mary.
If it's illegal, I mean,
I
what are we
don't,
doing?
I mean, I thought we forgave penalties and late fees all the time, so I
Yeah.
don't actually feel like this is illegal.
The only time that we've ever done that on a tax bill like this is if the county or the town has made a mistake. And that's it.
Supervisor Straub.
I mean, we run across this all the time at the town levels. I'm sure, you know, Supervisor Garrity does too, and our town clerk is pretty hard and fast, even though some of the stories seem to be, you know, just, you want to be sympathetic, but...
yeah, this is the first time, I
Yeah.
in my 10 years since I've been there, I've never had anybody approach me about it. First time ever. So I'm green, but it just seems to me that we do other things. Can't do it legally, we can't, and I'll let her know that. If we legally can't do it, I'll just tell her that. But it just doesn't seem, I'm believing what she's telling me. I have no reason not to believe it.
So it appears as if we have our attorney saying,
But if
it
we
looks
can't
like
do it-
it's okay, and we have our treasurer saying it's not okay. So what do we...
Let's have Ryan break the tie.
Thank you. I got to go to the bathroom. Why did she not get the, I know the address was wrong, but why, is it established as to why that happened?
No, I'm just basing, she said she never received the information from Williamson Finance.
I don't know for sure, but I'm going to guess, and it's a pretty good guess, that this was a timing issue because the property transferred at the end of 2016, prior or after the fact when all the records are done into the system to print the bills. There is a time period after the first part of November when if you change if the property changes, there's no way for the address to get into the file to get the bill sent to the right place. Okay, this is just the way the system is set.
November 18th to be exact. So
Okay.
that's when the closing, well, I don't know, I think it's, yeah, November 18th.
The other part of the problem is that on the actual bill that's sent out, by law, if you no longer own the property, you're required to send that bill to the person who now owns the property, which never gets done.
Do we have any exposure for the county? I mean, in terms of in court?
If we don't
We
refund the
pay back
money?
if one
Right.
sending
No.
something to somebody, right?
I'm
Didn't
sorry.
we just have a bill go out to somebody in Bolton Landing that took us to court over not receiving the tax bill, and didn't we pay them back?
We gave them their property back, yes.
Huh?
Yes.
That was a sale of his property. I
Yes.
thought.
But that's a different deal than what's going on here. That was
Okay.
had to do with the foreclosure, and Mary can probably speak a little better to what happened there than what I know about it, but that was a foreclosure process where we took the property, sold it at auction, and then the previous owner filed an action. Is that pretty much correct?
It actually stems from the exact same issue. The tax bill went to the prior owner, and it was never paid, and the person actually was current on the other 2 years of their taxes, but because the 1 year was unpaid, we actually sold it in the foreclosure before I got here, not during my time.
And just, here's the 2017 tax bill, like you said. It did go out to Wilmington Savings Fund in Irving, California, and obviously they didn't send it to this
I'm going to do
person.
some research on this when we're done.
So she never really saw the bill, and then maybe, I thought in 18, I don't have the 18 bill, I thought there was something on those bills that printed that you owed on.
There is a line, and it's right dead in the middle of the tax bill that says,
Yeah, but I don't have
"Please
it
be advised,
18."
you have outstanding property taxes."
Listen, I want to do things correctly, and I know it's only $561, but it's not going to make or break her. Can we just have Mary look into this?
Sure. I can
And
tell her
and
we're
Michael
gonna-
or whomever, and then we'll do it next month.
Yeah, I'm just bringing it up. You know,
Okay.
I promised her I would bring it up.
We'll put that on our pending items for...
And she is a resident of Thurman, New York.
So do you need a motion to table then?
Yeah.
Well, we have a motion in a second, we just need, I mean, you want to withdraw? your
I'll
motion?
withdraw it. I'll withdraw my second and let it research more.
Well, you didn't, but that's okay. We had a motion by Supervisor McDevitt and, shit.
That's a raise your eyebrow.
All right, anything else to come before finance? Thanks for that, Supervisor Garrity.
Yeah.
All those in favor to
Why don't you go a little
adjourn?
long?
Motion made by Supervisor Strauss, second by Supervisor Beatty. All in favor, aye?
Aye.